Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to the farm. She's a pretty shiny evening out here this evening. Sun sure is bright. We're going to get the garden watered. We're going to get the yellow tractor fired up. We're going to get some items out of the loft in the barn. It's almost chicken butchering season. We didn't raise any butcher chickens here this year. The only thing we had, you just see them around the corner there, in the turkey tractor, is the mini heritage turkeys. I don't even know what that means. Sounds like a made-up term. Anyways, they're a long way from ready. But the mother-in-law has the chickens. So I think, I'm not sure if it's going to be this weekend, next weekend. It won't be this weekend. Maybe next weekend. Maybe tomorrow. I don't even know. But we're going to butcher some chickens here soon. So that's like a once a year big job. And there's a lot of equipment that needs to come out of the storage shelf in order to execute that. No pun intended on the execute piece. The chicken plucker, the food grade barrels, the knives, the sharpening kits, the butchering tables, water hoses, nozzles, you name it, plucking pliers. I should have it all. I do have a toolbox, but when you only do it once a year, lots of stuff gets robbed out of the toolbox, and by the time it comes around to chicken butchering time again, usually you find yourself like a day beforehand being like, where's this, where's that, where's this? So hopefully today I'm a little bit ahead of the game. We can get everything ready, so we're like a little bit better prepared. The only thing we're not prepared for is because they're not here, I've got to take all the equipment out to the in-laws out in Rio Grande. So I put everything in the horse trailer, and it's just like a mobile chicken butchering circus on wheels. Anyways, out of all the tools, all the resources we have for butchering chickens, my favorite one is this one right here. I'm a DeWalt man myself, but I gotta say Milwaukee makes one heck of a knife. This is a Milwaukee duck knife. You can buy this from Home Depot, Canada. I don't know what it says it's a duck knife, but I don't really know what its actual purpose is. It's got one serrated side, one straight side, perfectly balanced. Good for a throwing knife, good for a dispatching knife. You can do some wet work. And it's made of some special super strength steel that it never goes dull. It actually is supposed to last like 5 times longer than a traditional steel knife. So you can get it from Home Depot for like $40. And I've used this now for, I think, 3 years. This will be our 3rd year of butchering chickens with it. So 2 years of wet work, so to speak, plus whatever, this is the one that stays out of the toolbox. It gets robbed out of the toolbox. I'm in the business right now of dicing up lettuces and giving them to the chickens and the sheep. So it sees some action, and it's a fantastic tool. So if you're ever in the Home Depot and you're looking for a good knife, because that's not really generally why you go there, but hey, why not? While you're there, pick one up. You'll be amazed. It'll do fantastic work for you. Anyway, knives aside, all the good stuff's up in the loft in the barn. So I got to juice up old Yella here, get her fired up so I can go get that stuff off the top shelf. But I need a pillow for the seat. That'd be bad for my sciatic nerve. Let's see what she's got in her here. Heck yeah, I like it. So I'm in the barn here now, and this is where it gets, I wouldn't say complicated necessarily, but this is where it gets to the point in time where you really want to have a little bit of lead time. My food safe barrels are up there. As you can see, they got 11 months of dust on them. Chicken pluckers up there also. Now, I'm going to come in here with a 65-year-old tractor and try to finesse my way into that pallet and get it off of there without wrecking nothing. And I'm not forklift certified. I'm run those forks right through the wall certified. So the wife just got home from a night shift, and I said, how about you come give me a hand? And she's like, I'm so exhausted, I just can't. And I get it. I've had those days too. So we're gonna open the door. I got a bag of chicken feed and a bag of hog feed. Gonna move that out of the way, get that put over there somewhere. I'm gonna come in here ever so gently and just inch by inch by inch, make sure I'm in full penetration, and nothing's going out the backside. And I don't have a lot of room really up there. You can see I can't even hoist it up that high because that's where the rafters are. I really only got about 8 inches between the top of the chicken plucker and the rafters. So I can't get too rammy in here. I do got to get a little bit rammy though. And this is where I'd be really interested to hear from the other farmers out there. They're running a barn, pole building barn. What do you have in your doorway? Because when we put this in, we put a dirt floor in. It's just gravel screenings packed down. And then I put a 6x6 beam here. That way the door could run across. Stops the wind blowing in, stops the snow blowing in. So we don't have a giant pneumonia hole there. Plus it gives me enough of a threshold that if there is a bit of a snowfall there, I can come with the tractor bucket and scrape it away or whatever. Works great for that. But if I got to come in to do anything in the barn, I either got to hit that hard enough that I go boom, 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 and I get over it. Or I got a couple 2x4s here. I got one there. I don't know where the other one is. Hopefully the dog didn't run away with it. Just to give me a little bit of a ramp. Here's the other one right here. I can just lay that down right there. And then the tire can just kind of ease up and over the bump. And of course I put these grain bags right in the doorway because that's where it was convenient. But now it's not really that convenient. So the other thing that presents itself as a bit of a challenge is this is the pallet forks I got here. I got these from a Weaver sale up in that Rycroft area there. And they literally just clamp onto that bucket. So they're pretty much as good as those clamps are, which are only as good as that bucket is. And I mean, it ain't much to look at, is it? So, you know, you got to be careful. There's a pretty good heavy duty cutting edge on there, which actually kind of reduces the grip that this thing actually has on it. But so you gotta watch it. I've never run the chains across. Apparently that's the thing, you can run chains across to really secure them. But I figured if I'm getting chains and boomers to hold that on, I'm probably lifting something way too heavy. And I've lifted some pretty crazy weights with this thing. Like I've lifted half a tote of molasses, you know, a 1,500 pound round bale. That is literally it. That is literally top of the charts for this thing. That as much as it can do. But it did it. It did it. I didn't let me down. I was impressed. It's got more hydraulic power than it has foundation. There's more house than foundation there, that's for sure. Well, that's all the heavy lifting done for the evening. Good job, old Yella. Although, well, surprisingly, I don't have that much motor oil and glycol all over my face, but I got quite a bit over my hand here. But burn's clean enough to get them bags lifted out of the barn and out of the way. What would be really nice is if I had those pallet forks, not on a bucket, not on a 6 foot wide bucket, but just on a pallet fork set. They were only 3 feet wide and they could just slide it right into that pallet, right into the back of the horse trailer. Man, that would sure make life easy. But yeah, this is a handy unit. We got this, I think this was last year we got this We got it used actually from some folks. They have an acreage out closer to Grand Prairie. They were done butchering chickens. They were kind of past that part of their life. And we've just got the old horizontal drum chicken plucker, which still works good. It's like 80 years old, still works fantastic. But in terms of efficiency, this is much more efficient. I will say though, because these things are just quickly assembled from tin bashers in China, wear a good pair of gloves. Otherwise you will have a bleeding flesh wound full of chicken feathers, and that hurts worse than a paper cut full of lemon juice. And always keep it on a pallet or a sheet of plywood, because there's just angle iron on the legs. There's no actual feet on the legs, and you're spraying a pile of water and stuff in there, so it just gets mucky and just goes and then squats, and then you literally are trying to drag it out of the mud. And if you're not wearing a good heavy cut resistant pair of gloves, you could really hurt yourself. Not to mention the fact the thing weighs, I actually don't even know what it weighs. It might only be 40 pounds. It is the most awkward 40 pounds on the planet. So it does come with two handles. I don't know whose hands are that big, but if that handle was twice as wide, it would probably be great. But yeah, all the weight's just it's in a weird center of gravity the way the weight is. So almost impossible to get your chest over top of here and grab do. So it's really a two-person lift. But for $500-600, you can get them. Like I said, we got ours used, I think, for $500, but you can get them for like $650 from the Weaver auction, from Ritchie Brothers, from Uncle Wiener's. Pretty good investment. I don't know, there's some folks that lend theirs out and rent them out and all kinds of stuff, I guess, for cost recovery. We don't do that. We just, a couple close friends or family, we'll let them borrow it for the day, and more than likely we're just going to go there and help them with their chicken butcher and just make things go that much smoother and that much easier, and everything gets cleaned out and put to bed properly when we're done. But speaking about being done and going to bed, judging by the sky over there, what does it look like? Yeah, that's more like it. I think it's time for a cup of tea. So I'm going to let you go for now. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.